Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. You know, we've had so many greater Banquet Crystal submissions that we haven't had something like this, which is a level 40 player basically saying, you know what, I'm going to open the smaller Temptation. I'm going to open the smaller crystal and just see what it compares to what I would get from about 5 of the bigger crystals. Now, I wouldn't try this at home because I think the ceiling is too low for people who are looking for a really good potential value, but at the same time, I am also not going to, shake my head at anybody who tries to be more conservative. The volatility of these is much lower, but of course, the ceiling of what you can open from them is also much lower. So let's just see what happens. So he opened 100 of the, lesser Banquet crystals. 1,000,000 gold to start out is fantastic. These are the secret to getting good gold potentially so far. Now the next 10 were not at all. I went from 1,000,000 to 100,000. But remember, they're not that expensive when it comes to units. And this is where you get tier 4 basic. Clearly, some tier 4 class catalyst, 5-star shards, 4-star shards. Obviously not the top end prizes for those of you looking for them. And boy, that gold, which started out at 1,000,000, I mean, he hit the gold jackpot. Started out 1,000,000 and then got much, much, much lower. 4-star awakening gems are so easy to get now in the game that they're not really even worth discussing. And more tier 4 basic. I really think between the tier 4 basic and tier 4 class catalyst, those are what's really important about these. You'll notice that he is in quite the gold dry spell. Yikes. More tier 4 basic, more tier 4 class catalysts. Tier 1 alphas also are really good for this. This is also where you kind of have to remember turn off global as the chat will corrupt the screen. Wow, okay, so he's opening 22 more. These still feel to me like they're out of like 2016 or 2017. But 100,000 gold is, nice way to break up his streak. The 1,000,000 gold in the first 10 was still incredible. I mean, this is a gold rush jackpot. And that is fantastic. But most of the time, you're going to get 4-star shards. You're going to get, tier 4 basic, which I'll take, but not compared to what you can get, obviously, in the ceiling of the greater Banquet crystals. And you can also see that gold crystal he opened is the only gold he got out of that batch of 10, and he doubled that in the last batch of 10. Okay, so that is the experiment that basically out of the Banquet crystals is not really worth it. But if you're level 40, I mean, it's hard to argue with it, It's hard to think to yourself, well, I shouldn't do it. Because when it comes to units, that's just a really important draw. So I really appreciate this data. I realize it's one of those videos that's not really for views as much as it is to just show for Godslayer kind of the casual nature of the Banquet crystals and the non-greater Banquet crystals. So I don't know if any of you have opened any of them that you're watching this. Do you like the value? Do you think it's a ripoff? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you to the summoner for sending over the data.